Will Power. Will had a bit of a slower stop. He had to hold up for Marcus Ericsson coming into his box, so heads up from the crew of the 12 team, but definitely cost Will a little bit of time and a bit of track position as a result.
I am so impressed with where Rosenqvist is found. I don't know why, but he has found the pace today, up 14 positions since the start. And on that last stint, Rosenqvist looked just as strong as Newgarden all the way through, Kevin, right up until the pit stop. Rosenqvist just as good on used tires.
And I think honestly, Felix, Rosenqvist would be surprised where he's at. I asked him this morning, do you have anything? And he kind of shook his head. I'm not sure that we do. It didn't get any better in warm-up. Remember, this is a backup tub. He had a crack in the tub last week, and the plan is to repair that because the tub is really critical. And he said they'll get that back for the next race in Nashville, but this one hasn't been used for several years. It's fine, but there are little nuances. Hence, you could probably explain that. It's not where they want it to be, so this is a really impressive run.
Yeah, if you're in the backup anything, it's not ideal. It's not the primary situation, so great job to be running this well with a backup car, and he is just going lap for lap, corner for corner with Joseph Newgarden. He cannot pull away right now.
48 laps to go from here. Felix Rosenqvist has had one career win. Wouldn't this be something today? It would be.
Might happen right here, Diff.
Look,
here it comes.
He's got a run on Joseph Newgarden. There's traffic ahead. The Swedish driver looks to the inside. No passage through there.
Well, he's in the dirty air of that lap car in front. Joseph Newgarden going high, getting clear of Graham Rahal there. Now it's going to be important for Rosenqvist to clear him quickly. This is going to cost
the right
tons of time.
That was a mistake from Rosenqvist, thinking he was going to sneak it inside Graham Rahal. And now you have just let the king of corn get a gap.
Look at that. The new team advisor and mentor, Tony Kanaan, the legend, the champion, the Indy 500 winner. He did his final Indy 500 this year. He's there giving this team of three guidance. He's giggling with team strategist Billy Vincent. They're saying our guy is doing great, but he's got to weave his way past this traffic and try and catch Newgarden because he was right on Newgarden's gearbox. He's now 2.1 seconds in arrears.
All right, buddy, you got to get your elbows out here.
Get your elbows out.
Hey, we've seen that from Felix Rosenqvist already this season.
Dude, elbows are out, bro. I'm trying. We're talking about Newgarden I'm going after.
And let's talk about the physicality, guys. This is a very, very physical racetrack because of the speeds, because of the high G-forces. And we had a full race distance yesterday. Normally, you get 4 or 5 days to recover from that before you're back in the cockpit of an Indy car. These guys had less than 24 hours to regroup, refresh, recharge, and get back after it.
And it is almost 90 degrees outside, 115 degrees on the racetrack with 45% humidity. And Kevin, I'm sure on pit lane, it's not that comfortable. I can only imagine what it's like for Pato O'Ward in the car.
Some drivers use cool suits, some don't. Here's O'Ward looking on the inside of Scott Dixon. This is for 7th place. All drivers have their routines. Whatever rehydration, powder and mix and liquid they take, whatever massage therapy they get, etc. How they rest and recover. Meanwhile, the teammates are back at it. This is for 3rd. It is the yellow and white XPEL Chevy on the Verizon Chevy. Power and McLaughlin.
Must have been some positive changes to this number 12 Verizon car for Will Power because he was going back earlier in the race, but now he seems to really have the pace. He's keeping McLaughlin at bay right now, and we've seen how quick the 3's been.
And it is a Chevrolet display right now. 1, 2, 3, and 4. First Honda is the points leader. Alex Palou in the top 5. 32 laps to go here at Iowa Speedway in the hy-vee one-step 250. Chip Ganassi racing up against Arrow McLaren here. Scott Dixon and Pato O'Ward, the two drivers who came to grief on the streets of Long Beach earlier this year. And it ended with Dixon buried in the tire bundle and unimpressed with the young Mexican. Do we see some kind of a settlement here between the two? This is what went down in California way back in early in the season. Boom. And O'Ward was unapologetic for that. Dixon said, I'll remember.
Yes, definitely some fighting words out of both drivers after that incident. Neither one of them wanted to claim responsibility. Pato by Scott Dixon now chasing down Colton Herta, who's running 6th at the moment. But Alex Palou up in the top 5 right now. Bit of a recovery drive after running 13th for a good chunk of this race. That puts a championship position as they run at 75 points. So he's clawed a few back if they were to finish this way.
Certainly managing any downside damage from the short ovals that haven't been Palou's strength, but on the Honda and Chip Ganassi scorecard, Palou top of the bunch. Best Honda, best Chip Ganassi team driver right now.
David Malukas is down on the low side there. Malukas runs in the top 10 as Joseph Newgarden sweeps around. Terrific drive by Alex Palou in the top 5. He hasn't had a top 5 here at Iowa Speedway. There he is in the American Legion Honda Chip Ganassi machine. And then how about Felix Rosenqvist? 4.4 seconds in arrears of Joseph Newgarden up the front. You're right on board with Rosenqvist. He has had 1 podium this year.
Look at that.
I think he's saying, look at that, and Kirkwood just pulling away.
That might have been Castro Neves up ahead. I think it is in the 06, another Auto Nation sponsored car.
It was Kirkwood.
Yeah, I think he's more complaining about Kirkwood coming down in front of him, taking the air. Kirkwood a lap down right now in 11th place. You see the number 27 up in front there.
Hell of a job here, dude. Hell of a job here. Just keep focused forward here. Let's go get him.
Coaching is such a key part of IndyCar racing, keeping the drivers' spirits and morale and focus on point. And look, this guy does not have a guaranteed ride for next year. Having an impressive podium here could do wonders.
Hey, every race is an audition. It's a job interview every time you get in the race car. We've talked about that before. So for a driver with an average season finish right now of 15th, this would be a heck of a recovery.
And this is what Rosenqvist was complaining about with Kyle Kirkwood on the 27 there, just coming across his bow and taking some of the air off of the front wing.
That's pretty naughty right there from the 27. His spotter would have told him he was looking, but it's late in the race. You know, he is a lap down though.
Well, but not that far off on lapping himself, I suppose. But
he's not going to drive up to Newgarden and unlap himself, Justin.
Hey, you gotta keep hope.
Teammates from Ganassi. Ericsson on the low side in the red and white Husky machine. Dixon on the high side. And that is for 8th place.
This team's doing a great job having all 3 cars inside, 3 of the 4 cars inside the top 10, but they're about to go a lap down as they battle, as you said, for 8th and 9th. Hard-fought race for both of those drivers. I talked to both of them. They said, look, man, we've got some pace, but the Penske's just do it so easily. Newgarden doesn't seem like he's trying, and even Newgarden said as much as he catches up now to Ericsson to put him a lap down. Can't quite get it done.
Just want to flag a little bit of history for you. We told you about this yesterday when Joseph Newgarden won 4 oval races in a row. 1 Worldwide Technology Raceway last year and then the 3 ovals this year. He joined AJ Foyt, Al Unser Sr. and Nigel Mansell as the only other drivers to do that, as O'Ward gets a little squirrely. If Newgarden hangs in there for another 20 laps and wins 5 straight, he will join just AJ Foyt and the late Al Unser Sr. as the only other drivers in the history of IndyCar to win 5 straight oval races. What a day it's going to be if he can hang in there.
And if you're behind the wheel of the number 2 right now, you're Joseph Newgarden, and you are hearing things, Townsend. You're feeling things. You're worried about every noise, every bump, everything that doesn't feel completely perfect. You're just waiting for something to go wrong, thinking back to last year.
Well, that's what happened. Left rear suspension failure for Newgarden that sent him hard in the fence. This battle with Colton Herta, Scott Dixon, and Pato O'Ward continues, and Newgarden very carefully tiptoeing through the slower traffic as you take a look again at last year. Leading with ease, the left rear let go. Car bottoms, floor is on the ground, and Newgarden simply a passenger.
He got out of the car under his own steam and then went to medical, but later on collapsed. And it was in question whether or not he'd make the next race, but he is one tough customer, and he most certainly did make that next race. So this would be this would be a personal form of redemption if he can do the 1-1. You hear us talk about that in the Pro Motocross Championship, Super Motocross World Championship, about riders like Jet Lawrence, who's undefeated this year, going 1-1 on a weekend. Well, Newgarden's looking at that 1-1 here in Iowa.
Like you said earlier, Diff, it would put him 75 points behind Alex Palou as they run. It looks like Palou is happy to just ride and finish in that 5th position. But in terms of coming into this weekend, Newgarden taking, what, almost 50 points out of Palou's lead. That's the kind of steady progress he needs. But then the next race, Nashville. And I think things swing back to Palou's favor as Pato O'Ward still hanging on.
Yeah, definitely strong on the street courses, Palou has been, but it is Joseph Newgarden's hometown in Nashville. And then we go to Worldwide Technology Raceway, another short oval that Joseph Newgarden has been exceptional at in the past. So yes, it's been dominated by the 10 and Alex Palou so far this season, but this weekend has really turned the tables. And if you look historically, the end of the season hasn't been the strongest for Alex Palou. Compared to Scott Dixon, compared to Joseph Newgarden, over the last 6 races of the season, he does not tend to score as many points as those others, and those are the 2 drivers chasing him in the championship, so it's still wide open.
The next driver up the road for Newgarden to lap is Alex Palou in 5th position.
I'd like to talk about this guy's teammate, Callum Ilott. Ilott is up 10, actually 9 positions from where he started. This is Augustine Canapino getting a look at what the big boys are doing. Marcus Ericsson, Scott Dixon, etc. Canapino had a little hiccup earlier in the race, and that's what put him down. Here is Callum Ilott. What a gutsy drive today on this short oval in the Pay.com Chevrolet for Juncos Hollinger. Yes, the race leader sweeps around the outside and makes it look pretty easy, but what that British driver has done is very nicely done. 10 positions, 14th overall. Great job, Callum Ilott, today.
So clearing Ilott, now Newgarden has Palou in his sights. 11 to go. How badly do you think Newgarden wants to lap Palou to just send a message?
I mean, he's got 6 seconds on Felix Rosenquist. He doesn't have to do anything. He could just sit there.
Yellow, turn 4.
What's this for? Turn 4 is the call, but what happened in turn 4? It's Ryan Hunter-Reay.
And you know what? Get ready.
Yeah, got up in the bubble, hit the wall.
3-time winner.
This resets everything.
All right, this is an important thing, guys. A race here back in 2018 created the abandonment of procedures rule. Normally, once the field is behind the safety car, you've got to open the pits for the lead lap cars. Then you do the wave around for the lap down cars. Then you open the pits for the lap down cars. It can take several laps at such a short track here. They want to finish under green. They don't want this to finish under yellow. They can abandon all those procedures, open the pits for those who want it right now, and try to get back to racing as soon as possible. This is when the decision has to be made. Who pits for tires?
All right. This is what happened to RHR, Ryan Hunter-Reay. He said, I just got up into the grade, got into the marbles, hit the wall. He's not the only one to do that today.
Carbon copy of Grant Rahall's incident yesterday. And you mentioned, see, on board here with Grosjean as Hunter-Reay up there. It's the worst feeling as a racing driver. You have so long to think about what's about to happen. You have zero control over the inevitability. You get pretty passionate about 2018.
Oh, I think that's for a good reason. I think that's good. But let's go back. Let's hit the rewind button for our man, James. Oh, yes. Late race action. That was Ed Carpenter.
And unfortunately, the fans were robbed of a good finish at the end under green. A couple of drivers came in, 4 tires. We decided to stay out. But no one likes a race that finishes under caution, Diff, so I think we're going to be able to see this one get going. But which drivers are brave enough to give up the track position? There's only 5 on the lead lap. You'd have to think everybody does it.
Well, yep. And think about who's been going big on restarts. Ericsson's maybe a little further back. We know O'Ward is spectacular on restarts. What's McLaughlin got? How about Rosenquist?
It's only the top 5 that matter, that are on the lead lap. They're not going to get a lap back here, I imagine. I assume they're going to do the abandonment of procedures. Again, I don't know that, but with the number of laps remaining, let's see what the Thirsty Threes are thinking. Let's listen to some radio.
I think I'm going to have to pit, man. Just hold on, there's only 5 cars on the lead lap, so let's see how this cycles out here. I can't. Like, I'm going to crash.
So that gives you a window into Scott McLaughlin's situation and maybe predicament. He's not feeling that great. Wonder what his teammate Will Power's like. What's Rosenquist like? What kind of shape is the Verizon Chevy in?
And I'll tell you, Newgarden did not want this yellow at all.
No.
Things under control.
Guys, the pits are open. I believe Joseph Newgarden stayed out.
I think they're just running the lap cars through pit lane inside 20 laps. That's the procedure that puts all the leaders at the front.
See, McLaughlin almost came in right at the top of your screen. He almost came in and then got going again.
That's how badly he wants sticker tires.
McLaughlin was turning down and the team said, no, 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 stay out.
So all the lead lap cars will be nose to tail.
Guess what this is setting up like? The Indianapolis 500. Check this out. Grosjean comes in. McLaughlin says, I'll have some. And the team says, no, you can't. You've got to stay out. You're on the lead lap.
That was close. So now that that procedure's done, you got to assume.
Do they open the pits?
Open the pits this lap?
I don't know.
Okay, they're not going to open up the pits.
Abandoning.
They're going to go back to green.
So no chance for fresh tires for the leaders.
I wish they'd open them just to give everyone the option to see who was brave enough to stay out.
Listen, Rosenqvist was good 20 laps ago on used tires. At the end of the last stint, Rosenqvist was just as good as Joseph Newgarden. It's unlikely. But how big does Rosenqvist go? Kevin, his future is in the balance here. A win today might secure his future at Aero McLaren.
That'd be a nice bargaining chip to have. It's, by the way, possible also that Felix has agreed to terms with someone not told us. But if he hasn't, you'd like to be his manager right now, maybe.
Think about the Indianapolis 500 with that two-lap shootout where it was Joseph Newgarden coming from behind. It's Newgarden at the head of this field as the laps dwindle. This is going to be a gripping finish to the hy-vee one-step 250. Can this man get the double and win the weekend? Or does this Swedish charge spoil the Newgarden party here at Iowa? They are coming to green for what should be a spectacular end to this hy-vee doubleheader weekend at Iowa Speedway. And we asked the question that we asked you a couple of hours ago. Does anybody have anything for Joseph Newgarden? Will Power ducks out of the draft? Power goes to second immediately.
Power pushing Rosenqvist all the way up into the dirt. That's going to cost him a ton of McLaughlin sideways trying to keep out of Rosenqvist.
McLaughlin was begging for tires, but he has to hang on for 3 more laps. And what does that do? Alex Palou now right up into third position. That is not good for Newgarden.
Palou into third, podium position with 2 to go, but it's side by side. Felix Rosenqvist on the bottom, McLaughlin up top.
McLaughlin told us on the radio he is barely hanging on. He's almost crashing. Dixon dives for the inside on Herder. Newgarden's got over half a second on his teammate Will Power. They're coming to the white flag. 1 to go. Less than a mile. McLaughlin is just dropping like a stone.
But remember, these cars are still a lap down. He is still in 5th as the last car on the lead lap. At the top of your screen, it's Joseph Newgarden out front.
Stand up and pay respects to this man, the king of corn country. Joseph Newgarden wins the weekend, does the double in Iowa. Unbelievably dominant performance from the Hitachi Chevy. And he says, now I'm happy.
I like it. You like that?
He wasn't happy yesterday after the win. He was frustrated with traffic. We'll see a smile now from the winner. Newgarden victorious at a track that he basically owns. Awesome performance. Win-win. The results sheet say for Joseph Newgarden, and will head to his home race in Nashville, Tennessee in a couple of weeks. The most recent winner. Couldn't ask for any more. And we asked the question we asked a couple of hours ago, who can stop Joseph Newgarden? The answer, nobody.
And that is a clean sweep so far of the oval races on the calendar this year for Joseph Newgarden. 1 in Texas, of course, 1 the Indianapolis 500, both rounds here. Only 1 left on the schedule. Can he do all 5?
But preciously, Alex Palou doing such a great job to get himself up to 3rd. 9 positions better than his starting position, and that got him 5 more points to the good. So he still leads Newgarden by 80 points in the championship.
Felix Rosenqvist didn't get on the podium, but still one heck of an effort from the Swedish driver. He finishes 4th behind Newgarden, Power, and Alex Palou. This is the revised victory lane because the big stage is coming out for global sensation Ed Sheeran. And it is a couple of Chevrolets and a Honda on the podium, but the same man in the prime spot. Joseph Newgarden, the Indianapolis 500 champ. This is the Advanced Auto Parts checkered flag moment. 2 for 2. Wins the weekend.
Good job. Galen, that's my guy.
Typically, his race engineer, Luke Mason, runs out as well. They've forged such a great relationship and understanding on the radio with the direction of the car and what to do. Team president, Tim Cindric. There's Luke Mason. Those two guys have become great mates. It's a Team Penske weekend here at Iowa Speedway.
How much? Do you have a hat?
That seems to be a happier Joseph Newgarden today.
Yeah. Well, there was no lap cars at the end of the race because we had a restart. Didn't matter what you threw at him.
Here comes Pillow. He's the top 2 in the championship, saying, good job, mate. Well done. It's game on. And Dave Burns is in amongst it. Take it away, Dave.
Lee down here following Joseph around. We weren't sure